I am Wakita Barksdale, and I am a licensed professional counselor and an emotional wellness coach. One of my greatest passions is working with the Black community to overcome a lot of generational trauma, generational patterns of dysfunctional behavior. And one of the things I often hear about is generational curses. I strongly believe, and I base this as my foundational theme in my practice, that we are delivered from curses, from generational curses or the curses of our fathers. Ezekiel 18 and 19 tells us that we no longer suffer the curses of our fathers. And so when I look at going in and working with the family in terms of generational dysfunction, we no longer look at it as something that they have to be delivered from, but rather something that they have to overcome. And so when I look at dysfunctional patterns, let's talk about where that comes from. A lot of things that we do, we've been doing for generations. Does that mean that we've been cursed to do those things, or does this mean that we don't have any more information or any knowledge regarding what to do differently? A lot of times we say, well, diabetes runs in the family. Does it? Or is it our eating habits? People are, no one gets married or everyone gets divorced. I was told that once. I was like, the women in our family don't stay married. I've been married, it'll be 19 years, May 23rd. And so it's about making decisions that really go against what you don't want to see happening. If I don't want to see this play out in my life, what can I do differently? And I think that's where my passion lies, is in helping our families, especially in the Black community, figure out what those dysfunctional patterns are and how to establish new behaviors. That is how we change the legacies that are in our families, and that's how we begin to heal our lineage.
Generational curses in the Black community, it's consistent. It's like an excuse. If somebody beats their kids, it's a generational curse. If somebody has an illness, it's a generational curse. If you drink or you smoke, it's a generational curse. And realistically, my perspective is a lot of times that's just an excuse. As Christians, a lot of times we'll go to the Bible and we'll say, well, the Bible talks about generational curses, but that's Old Testament. When it's talking about generational curses, that's not New Testament. So people use the quote when they say in the Bible about the sins of the father impacting the child, but they take it way out of proportion. And again, that is not the case in the New Testament. So if you believe in Jesus Christ, then you're totally wrong about bringing up generational curses that were against Israel back in the Old Testament. So personally, my opinion about generational curses is that people make choices and decisions, and they have behaviors a lot of time based on their environment. So if I grow up in a house where my mom and dad are drinking all the time, and I have the ability to have alcohol around me, then I may choose to drink like they do. I may choose to be an alcoholic or a drug addict or a wife beater or whatever. But again, I made a personal choice to do that. I grew up personally with an alcoholic mom and a drug addict dad. They both were delivered, but I could have made a decision and said, oh, generational curses, I'm gonna do this. But I was like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that lifestyle. I don't like what it did, and I walked away from it. So for me, when it comes to generational curses, personally, I don't believe in that. As Christians, we're told that we don't have to deal with generational curses. So I think that people should just stop making excuses and make better choices.